Hey guys, it's that time again for our Humble Choice games. This time for August. We are 1 month away from my birthday. But these kind of games here are great. But remember, Baldur's Gate 3 comes out on the 3rd. So I hope you're going to play, because I know I am. But without further ado, let us check out our games. Disco Elysium is first up. This alone is enough for this bundle. If you've not played Disco Elysium yet, I would encourage you to. It is actually a very, very well done TTRPG. Not a lot of combat, mind you, but it's a lot of storytelling. And the art style's really cool, and everything's kind of really great. But you are a detective in this world that's kind of interesting. Fully voice acted. And I don't know, it's kind of really gritty. I love it, though. But as it says here, this is the final cut, which is the definitive edition. Right? You're a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal on a whole city block to carve your path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders, or take bribes. Become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being. Which is true. Game is absolutely top-notch. Probably one of the better games that's come out in a long time. If you are into, isometric TTRPGs. Yeah? Next up, we have Chivalry 2. I think this is multiplayer, right? Yeah, it's a multiplayer first-person slasher inspired by epic medieval movie battles. Players are thrust into the action of every iconic moment of the era, from clashing swords to storms of flaming arrows, to sprawling castle sieges and more. 64-player battlefields. At this point, I don't know if it's still fully functional, but it has a lot of different features, and if you are into that PvP sort of mentality, this is probably the game that you should focus on. Next up, game I've never heard of, Road 96. Summer 1996. Today is the day. You hit the road. Adventure, freedom, escape, run, flee the regime, try to survive. All right, on this risky road trip to the border, you'll meet incredible characters and discover their intertwined stories and secrets in an ever-evolving adventure. But every mile opens up a choice to make. Your decisions will change your adventure, change the people you meet, maybe even change the world. There are thousands of roads across the authoritarian nation of Petria. Which one will you take? Oh, okay, so this is, not so much America, but I mean, it probably is kind of like America, I guess. Road 96 is a crazy, beautiful road trip. The discovery of exciting places and unusual people on your own personal journey to freedom. An ever-evolving, story-driven adventure inspired by Tarantino, the Coen brothers, and Bong Joon-ho, made by the award-winning creators of Valiant Hearts and Memories Retold. Both really good games. Announced as part of the Omen Presents initiative from HP Inc. Huh. The art style is pretty cool. If we go by just the games that they were made by, this is going to be really interesting. Next up, we have Trek to Yomi. I have actually played this on my Xbox. It is a side-scrolling samurai action game. Yeah, it's pretty good. Very stylish, atmospheric, gameplay, different types of styles to use. I got pretty far in it until I kind of lost interest towards the end. Because it really is almost Souls-like. Because if you get hit, you get hit. And then you're pretty much done. Great game, though, if you like that sort of side-scrolling action title. Next up, we have Arcade Paradise. Okay. This one seems rather interesting. Welcome to Arcade Paradise, the 90s-fueled retro arcade adventure. Rather than washing rags for a living, you decide to turn the family laundromat into the ultimate arcade. Play, profit, and purchase new arcade machines with over 35 to choose from to build your very own arcade paradise. Take the laundromat business made up of dull chores from washing clothes to throwing out the trash and turning it into a booming arcade with the coolest games in town, raking in all the money. Alright, over 35 arcade games, each fully realized with its own gameplay, stories, missions, and high scores to set. Huh. Interesting. Insert a coin and play against a friend in a number of cooperative and competitive arcade games with up to 4 players locally. Set the high scores, groundbreaking soundtrack, the greatest gaming era ever. Geralt in the Riviera. Doug Cockle, famous for his voice acting Victor Vran in the Witcher series, plays the role of Ashley's berating father. Being too busy in the Riviera to see King Wash for himself, you'll receive many phone calls from Geralt, sharing his wise words and advice and constant reminders to fix the toilet. Sounds interesting, really. Next up, we have Such Art. Okay, in Such Art, you are a genius artist living in the year 2130. Making the best of the space studio you own, create art with a large variety of tools. Sell your works, get famous, and upgrade your studio. Let your imagination run wild and create the art of your dreams. Okay, so basically you're just an artist and you're creating art, and then I guess you sell it. Oh, what? Pick your side. They say down on Earth the robots are revolting, and the Crabuxes covet the planet's saltwater. For sure, that's none of your business. Or is it? In an art game? That took a weird turn. Next up, we have Tin Can. All right. Beware space travelers. Surviving aboard the Tin Can is no trivial matter and can get quite frantic. Without a good look at the system surrounding you, your onboard manual, and patience, the only thing awaiting you is a cold, or hot, cosmic death. Consider yourselves warned. Good luck. In space, tech support can't hear you scream. Okay. This is what a mess. The oxygen generator refuses to start up. I hope it's just the fuse cutting down the power and not some kind of issue with the atomic pile. All the systems inside your escape pod are made up of many different components, from fuses to air filters. They are all interconnected and have their own critical functions. This is basically a mechanic game, but in space. That's interesting. Huh. What's this? Manage pod systems down to every single component. Numerous systems which have all their own unique function and serve to ensure your survival. Every system is interconnected, from the oxygen generator to the emergency lights. Over a dozen different components. Organic failures thanks to simulated nature of resources and components inside the game. You'll have to figure out what is wrong and retrace failures back to the source. Realistic management of vital resources. Ugh. I don't want realistic. That would suck. But hey, that sounds really interesting and really hard. Okay, looks like last we have Hot Brass. This looks to be a top-down SWAT game. Alright, when SWAT gets the call, everything else has failed. Experience the high-risk world of the elite SWAT operator. The job is tense, and every split second decision has consequences, from infiltration to de-escalation. Keen awareness, expert tactics, and a strategic use of equipment are key to becoming a master of tactical strategy. This doesn't look like a tactics game, though. Play with 1 to 4 players in online and on local co-op. Okay. This looks more like a top-down shooter. Huh. Interesting. Might be a good co-op game. And I guess those are all the games so far for this month. We do get some coupons for Special Edition and King's content for Chivalry 2, as well as High Score Edition of Arcade Paradise. And as always, you do get access to the Humble Games Collection and the Vault for continuing to stay a member. This month's charity is Trees, Water, and People. Empowers communities around the world to protect, conserve, and manage their national resources. Well, nothing wrong with that. So there you go, guys. If you have any thoughts on these games, which ones you'd like to see, which ones you've played before, let me know in the comments. It has been really difficult with me making a lot of content this summer because of my daughters, and the heat in Oklahoma is awful. It's killing me. Like, my air conditioner is running, and it's keeping my inside of my house 30 degrees less than what it is outside. And inside my house is 80 degrees. Wait, 20 degrees less. If it's 30 degrees less, we might have a problem. Because it's about 110 outside, so 80 degrees is not bad. 80 to 90, 90 to 100. Math is not my thing, it's too hot. So until next video, guys, be kind to each other. And I'll see you then.